Thank you for joining us on Weather Out West, the hour-long show where we showcase what's happening weather-wise across the western United States. I'm meteorologist Leah Pizzetti. Today is Monday, January 5th. Many people are heading back to reality after the holiday break. I do want to show you some satellite and radar imagery that we are keeping an eye on this Monday. The big focus that we are watching is going to be along the west coast. Take a look at that in Northern California. You can see that disturbance that is bringing heavy rain to Northern California, getting up into Oregon as well. That's one of the big things that we're keeping an eye on today. We have a lot of watches, warnings, and advisories in place. Winter weather, but also flooding potential. That dark green area is everybody who's watching flooding concerns. And that's not the only place we're keeping an eye on. Some snow is moving through the middle parts of the country, and we're also watching snow potential in the northwest. So we have a lot to get to. You can see that this is what we're watching right now, and it's a little bit of an unsettled week. We have a couple disturbances that are going to move through the next couple of days, bringing rain, bringing snow. But hey, something to look forward to. This is next weekend. Pretty much everybody across the region will settle into a more mild pattern. So there's that to look forward to. But for now, we have a lot to talk about on this Monday. We begin our coverage today in California, where that storm is bringing heavy rain to many parts of the state. That is paired with king tides slamming the coast, exacerbating the problem and creating flooded conditions along the water adjacent areas. In Northern California, people are seeing knee-high water because of the combination of high tides and this storm. Some are calling it the worst flooding they've seen in decades. In the city of Sausalito, crews have been working to pump water off of the roads for days straight. Even at 1,500 gallons per minute pumped off, officials say it is not enough to prevent flooding. Denzen Cortez has more.
You can't just swim.
What started as an ordinary Sunday, quickly turning into anything but.
Starting to rain harder again.
There was a lot of rain in a very short amount of time. The cell today wasn't as big of cells as we've had over the past couple of decades, but this one was enough that it lifted that heavy piece of wood and floated it away, no problem.
Video footage showing Fair Oaks resident Michael Sylvester's wooden bridge lifted up and carried out into their pond, all in part due to the heavy rainfall.
The current was really good, moving fast. I could see, it's spinning, so it's got some turbulence in that water, and I didn't really want to drown, so.
You could see Michael using rope to reel back in the bridge.
Michael, we're not even in the pond yet, but earlier today you were about waist high and we're not even in the pond.
Correct, yeah. I was easily waist high.
The flooding didn't just hit Fair Oaks. Sacramento roadways saw large amounts of standstill water throughout the area.
It's coming down heavily, and don't follow so closely because you can't stop as quick as you normally could.
Driving just through the puddles, splashes everywhere.
Until this water is removed, people coming into this need to slow down, because you don't know what's under this water. You don't know what's causing the clog.
The rain causing several road closures within Sacramento due to flooding.
The Sacramento County Department of Water Resources has had over 60 calls for service for clogged drains, flooded streets. And so we're telling people again, if you see something like this, don't do it yourself. Call 311, let county crews come out and we'll tackle it.
And with that, let's go to meteorologist Rob Carlmark in Sacramento, who's tracking the rain and flooding potential moving forward, plus mountain snow. He has the forecast for Northern California.
Hello, I'm meteorologist Rob Carlmark here with the weather for Northern California and part of the West Coast, and it has been a very busy time for rain and for snow. And the snow part has really been beneficial because we've been lacking for snow and snowpack and everything else. Also, the resorts needed a little bit more snow, but we sort of hit the breaking point over the weekend with too much rain and too much snow, some localized flooding issues. And for the snow, long-standing chain control areas and even closed roads for hours and hours and hours just because of spinouts and unsafe conditions. So let's look at the positive here. What we've racked up since October 1st, which is the beginning of our rainy season, 20 inches of rain since October 1st for Eureka, about the same for Santa Barbara, which is very impressive. The theme here is that if you don't know what these numbers mean in relation to where they typically are, if you're in the blue, that means you're above average. And for so many locations, northern, central, southern California, we're many inches above average. So we're in good shape. And even for this snow, we've made up a lot of ground for our below average snowpack, which was the case just last week, after this weekend, and certainly after today as well. I think we're going to be in much, much better shape. So this is how it looked earlier on Monday. You could see the brunt of the storm still pushing through, valley rain, Sierra snow, then one last final push into the evening. And then behind that, some colder air and then also some stability. So we're going to return to more dry conditions and more settled conditions, which is good. We've got to dig out for the winter storm and also for the valley areas. High river levels and creek levels need to start to come down. What you need is a nice gap in the rain and snow, and that's exactly what we're going to have. Winter storm conditions until at least 4 p.m. for some locations and 10 p.m. for others in the central Sierra, but we're going to get there. So here's a look at our Monday. Far northern California, a mix of rain and snow depending on your elevation. Snow's about 5,000 feet. More valley rain, more Sierra snow through Monday. Into the evening, we've got one final push that should make it through Monday and very early on Tuesday. And then by Tuesday morning and beyond, we should be in good shape. There's a couple systems that sort of clip the Sierra with lingering light rain and snow in the middle of the week, but that's really just one spot and one moment in time. The rest of the time after that is going to be a drying out period for the most part. So we'll go ahead and take a look at our Monday temperatures and, of course, the region. For the valley spots, you're going to be somewhere in the 50s later today, the 40s for the foothills and the 30s up high. Again, that snow level's right around 5,000 feet. So that's going to bring places like Truckee, South Lake Tahoe, other communities, even on the western slope, in for some light snow, at least through Monday. And then that snow level is going to start to drop, actually, because we're going to get colder, but we're out of moisture. We're just out of gas to feed the system. So widespread, I would say, cold temperatures to kind of cold temperatures right in the middle of the valley. Plan for rain is for all day long because, like I mentioned, we're looking at 2 waves of this before everything settles out, highs in the 50s. After this stability moves in, our temperatures are actually going to be on the way down. We're going to be colder later this week. There's that one midweek blip for the Sierra, the mountains, and also the foothills with some light rain and some light snow, mostly in the evening. Then we are clear not only Thursday, Friday, but through this upcoming weekend. So there we go, folks. Over the next many days, we're going to end up with conditions that are going to be just fine. Just one more weather impact alert day on your Monday.
While Southern California is not getting as hard as Northern, they are still tapping into that moisture as well. Meteorologist Evan Noorani is in San Diego monitoring rain potential for Southern California.
Hi everyone, good morning. I'm meteorologist Evan Noorani. It has been a mild start to the day, but pre-sunrise in San Diego, we saw plenty of wet weather arriving across the county. It was mainly from about midnight to 5 a.m. or so that about 0.6 of an inch came down. So most spots around the county recorded over 1/2 inch of additional accumulating rain. What did that make for us? Well, it was day number 6 of consecutive days of rainfall. We had talked about just around New Year's Eve, the opportunity for daily rainfall in the forecast. We said that we could see measurable rain for the next 7 to 10 days. Here we are now 6 days in, and it's mostly come to fruition. We've at least seen plenty of breaks in the clouds, and it's made for gorgeous views out there. Mother Nature very happy with the recorded rainfall. Today, we have a chance of a little bit of drizzle, especially in the AM around right now, all the way through the PM stretch. There's a chance for that light drizzle, pooling and ponding otherwise. Going into Tuesday, we are mostly dry. Cloudy skies, we'll still get those breaks in the clouds, and then we'll hold on to the cooler than normal temperatures. By Wednesday, around midday, it's our next best opportunity for widespread rain, for accumulating rain. It's likely to come from about 1 p.m. to 7 p.m. What we're watching for is about an additional 1/10 of an inch of accumulating rain. The totals that we're adding on between now and Wednesday, I mean, they're light, a couple 1/10 of an inch, if that, cumulatively. When we look at the water year so far, October 1st was the reset date. We picked up on over 7 inches of rain in downtown San Diego. That is a 4.2-inch surplus compared to normal. Oceanside is at about a 1.8 surplus, Ramona 2.5 or so. So some impressive numbers when we look at our water year so far. The reason why this is important is because it adds on to our water year when we keep going through the rest of the season. If we stay dry, ideally the surplus surplus will allow us to make it through the end of the year without much of a deficit. We rounded out the previous year with a decent deficit, about 40% below where we'd like to be, and our drought conditions were way worse to start off the month of December than they are now to start off the month of January. Rainfall forecast shows that we stay mostly dry through the remainder of the day. Just some sprinkles out there. By 11:30 tonight, overcast skies that continue into Tuesday. Tuesday afternoon should give us some breaks in the clouds as well. And then early Wednesday, there are those sprinkles returning to the forecast. We've got more rain expected by that time frame. So first half of the week looks a little bit different than the second half. First half still involves some scattered showers, some overcast skies, some temperatures right around normal, if not in some cases cooler than normal. Then as we get toward Thursday, that acts as a day of transition away from the overcast skies and the cooler than normal temperatures. And we could even start to see some Santa Anas become a little bit more active by the weekend. Look at those low 70s back in the forecast. Inland valleys see temperatures climb by about 10 degrees from Thursday at 60 all the way up to Sunday at 70. So a nice boost in temperatures there and a nice clearing of skies as well. Mountains and deserts see some precipitation. Shouldn't be all that much Wednesday into Thursday. The deserts, our local deserts, could be dry through this entire stretch. And then we'll all across the board see those sunnier skies and normally scheduled programming, as we call it, kind of prevail into the upcoming weekend, which means that this upcoming weekend will look a lot different than the weekend that we just wrapped up. Back to you.
It's a Monday thing to do. Look forward to the weekend already. Still ahead after the break, we are going to the Northwest, where rain and mountain snow chances are increasing for the first full week of 2026. Welcome back. As California gets soaked, the Northwest is in for winter weather as well. But this is actually from a different storm than the one hitting the Golden State today. A storm moving in from the Gulf of Alaska is bringing wet and much colder conditions, opening the door for snow in the Northwest. In the Northwest, let's first go to Nicole Hernandez in Spokane with snow chances for eastern Washington.
I'm Nicole Hernandez in Spokane, Washington, and look at this live look over Riverfront Park. A lot of clouds in the sky, I know, but you can start to see some blue skies peeking through those clouds, and the hope is that continues for this afternoon. There's a chance we see some sun later today, and that would be lovely because later this week, no more sun. It's gone. We're mostly calm today. We have winter snow coming back for Tuesday. Finally, some actual winter snow moving its way through the region, and our temperatures are cooling down as the week continues. The reason we can see snow instead of rain like we have the past few storms is because those temperatures are just a little bit cooler. Earlier today, we had some snow move its way through. It mostly was in the Silver Valley, and then we had some rain down in the Palouse. That now, though, has moved its way out past Idaho, and we're all basically clear. I mean, you know, a tiny bit of patches of snow falling in some of our mountains, but those are pretty remote. So for the most of us, we're pretty clear, and we stay that way through the afternoon. Things are going to be really nice this afternoon. We're going to see some partial cloud cover, even the potential of some sun peeking out, and a little bit of light wind. So enjoy how calm it is this afternoon because of this. Look what's on its way. A pretty decent batch of widespread snow is going to move its way through the region starting tomorrow. So this is about 11:45 tomorrow. You can see pretty much everywhere getting some snow and some wind as well. The snow starts between 10 and 11 tomorrow, according to this model at least, and basically lasts through the entire day. The other thing we see move in with this storm is a little bit of wind. So sustained winds are going to be between 15 and 25 miles per hour, and then wind gusts up to 45 miles per hour. Either way, that snow's sticking around, and it's going to stick through Wednesday. We have snow that will continue until about the morning of Wednesday morning, and then by the afternoon, things look clear yet again. We get another chance for some sun, even with the light breeze as well on Wednesday, and then another system moves its way in for Thursday. Overall, between Tuesday's snow, Wednesday's snow, and Thursday's snow, we have some decent totals in some spots, depending on where you are. Not too much in Spokane or Davenport, just 1 to 2 inches. Deer Park, 1 to 4 inches. Things get more aggressive, though, out in North Idaho, 4 to 10 inches out in Sandpoint, and 1 to 2 feet over Lookout Pass. So a lot of snow potentially, a especially for our North Idaho mountains. That is why for our North Idaho mountains, we're under winter storm watches. National Weather Service has those in effect from Tuesday morning until Wednesday morning. We also are under a weather impact alert. This is for Tuesday to Thursday. The biggest impact is heavy mountain snow, but even in the lowlands, we see that snow, right? Our snow levels are dropping to between 1,000 and 3,000 feet. And so even if we're a little bit warmer and it's a little bit wet, it still is there. That's why we're going to have winter driving conditions for the next few days. The big difference here and why it's so important, especially just across the entire region, is because of these overnight lows. We're dropping below freezing every night, so we're going to get above freezing. We'll see some wet snow here in town, and then we drop to below freezing, and that could freeze and cause really slick road conditions. So be extra careful and be cautious as we head into these 3 days of weather impact alert.
Thank you, Nicole. To Oregon now, as they also brace for more snow. They're celebrating the little bit of snow that fell over the weekend. Cascade resorts from Bachelor to Timberline picked up 6 to 8 inches of snow over the weekend. Mount Hood Meadows had a limited opening yesterday and did close before night operations. They hope to get back to normal operations soon with more snow in the forecast. So with that, let's go to meteorologist Rod Hill, who is monitoring that winter weather heading to Oregon.
From Portland, I know the holidays are over. With a good snow forecast for the Cascades, it's kind of like a late Christmas present. We need this so badly. And I begin with what we have seen very little of so far this season, and that is a winter storm warning up and down both the Washington and the Oregon Cascades. This storm warning starts tomorrow and goes all the way into Thursday. So for today, we had about 6 inches of snow over the past 30 hours on and off, fall up there. Cascade passes show some snow cover. It's going to be mainly a partly cloudy flurry day today, 3,000 feet. The storm warning starts tomorrow. Now tomorrow, the only question is, the snow level goes up to 4,000. That is the elevation of Government Camp and U.S. Highway 26 over Mount Hood. So it's unclear if this is all sticking snow at that level tomorrow or if it's kind of a wet mix with temps above freezing. The cold front comes in Tuesday evening to the Cascades in Oregon. That will drop snow levels to 2,000 feet. So we know we have a hefty amount of snow sticking all the way past below Cascade passes into Wednesday. And then the storm continues and breaks up on Thursday. We're all dry on Friday. Above 4,000 feet, to me, confidence is high that we will get at least 2 feet of snow, maybe more, and certainly hoping at 4,000 feet to pick up over a foot once those snow levels start to come down. So this is terrific news. We need it, we need it, we need it. Now, for today, I mentioned pretty good day. Partly cloudy skies, mainly dry here in Portland. You can see the moisture break clearly on the satellite picture, and then here's the batch of moisture that will be rolling in for tomorrow. Here's the way Futurecast shows it. Mainly dry today, all dry tonight here on the west side of our state. Here's the first wave of rain coming in tomorrow morning, and then it picks up, and I think it's mainly steady rain Tuesday afternoon. The yellow is the heavier rain with the cold air coming in behind the front into the evening and overnight. And then that's through. I have an impact alert for Portland tomorrow in the afternoon hours, just for the steady rain picking up and kind of slowing you down for travel and for your outdoor plans, but not looking at much wind, maybe some 40-mile-per-hour gusts tomorrow afternoon at the coast, and that's it. This is Wednesday morning, not steady precip, but occasional shots of rain, some of it heavy coming through the afternoon and snow continuing up into the Cascades. So we talked about 2 feet or more of snow near to above 4,000 feet up in the high country. The rain amounts are going to be pretty impressive as well. This shows over 2 inches in Tillamook and generally nearing 2 inches up and down the coast. 3/4 of an inch, I think, at least in Salem and Portland, maybe closer to an inch. This shows over an inch up in Kelso Longview. And we have some decent amounts, which would be snow over the Blue Mountains out around La Grande, out across all eastern areas of our state. All right, some live cameras. Again, we're opening up sun today. Chinook Woods Casino Resort in Lincoln City looking nice. A little bit of blue with the fresh snow over Timberline and looking up at Mount Hood. We've had some fog late this morning develop as temperatures have cooled. You can't see our state capitol because of the fog. There's Pioneer Courthouse Square in downtown Portland with some cloudiness up top. But generally partly cloudy, dry weather coming, 48. The impact alert in red tomorrow afternoon into the night for that rain. Wednesday, occasional rain, and Thursday, All dry returns on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and that dry pattern will come with a return to freezing overnight temperatures.
Thank you, Rod. We will look forward to that snow. Still ahead after the break, an environmental effort by Washington State gone wrong. Officials are pulling out rubber tires from Puget Sound waterways. These are tires they put there. We'll show you how this mess started after the break. A decades-old environmental mistake is being corrected now in Puget Sound waterways. The state of Washington has removed tens of thousands of tires put in the water 50 years ago. This was initially an attempt to boost marine life with artificial reefs, but ultimately created contamination. Seattle's Farah Jadrin has followed this story all year long and now has an exclusive look at the cleanup process.
The postcard-worthy view from Vernon Stoner's Olympia home along Puget Sound has changed recently. Once, it was only beautiful birds and fishing boats passing by. Now, there's a new fixture on the horizon, a hulking cleanup barge that makes its rounds like clockwork day after day.
The barge is a little noisy, but we can live with that for several weeks. And you know, I've been watching them, and they seem to be just going about their daily chores every day.
What Stoner's witnessing is history being reversed. In the 1960s and 70s, the Washington State Department of Natural Resources dumped these tires into Puget Sound, believing they would create artificial reefs to boost marine life. But decades later, science proved otherwise. The tires didn't help. They hurt. Now DNR is fixing their mistake.
It's just great now that they recognize that that wasn't a good idea, and now they're doing the cleanup.
The scale of the project is staggering. DNR says more than 100,000 tires were dumped into the water 60 years ago from Olympia to Port Townsend. Stoner says he's watched barge after barge pass his home, each one piled high.
I've seen the barge go from Barefoot Park up past our house on up, north, and they taken, I see hundreds of tires on the barge, and I'm surprised how many there are.
For Stoner, who's lived here since 2004, the cleanup represents something bigger than just tire removal.
We really do enjoy the life here, the eagles, the hawks, doing the fishing, in the sound. We care a lot about the environment, and it's just wonderful to see, life here in the Northwest.
The difference between then and now? Better science, better understanding.
DNR tells me the work is wrapping up. When the team's finished, tens of thousands of tires will have been removed from Puget Sound. DNR says all the tires removed will be recycled or properly disposed of. All the tires they collect must be taken to a facility that only accepts tire waste to prevent any further environmental issues. For Environment Northwest, I'm Farah Jadrin.
Still ahead, we are simultaneously watching fire danger and snow chances in Colorado. We'll have that forecast after the break. Welcome back to Weather Out West. Thank you for sticking with us. We are now going to head to Colorado, where our team there is keeping an eye on both increased fire risk and snow chances. Here's Kathy Sabin and Jaden Knowles.
Hello from Denver, Colorado. I'm 9 News Weather Impact Team Chief Meteorologist Kathy Sabin. We are kicking off the first full week of January and the new year with temperatures running way above average. We had a record-tying high on Sunday of 67 degrees, which is a good 20 degrees above average. Today, however, we're tracking an incoming system that might bring a little snow to the mountains. There are winter weather and travel advisories out for some ski resorts like Steamboat. Lower elevations will stay dry, but Come Thursday, we actually have a chance of seeing some colder air and maybe some rain and snow showers here along the Front Range. Ahead of it, we're tracking a bit of cloud cover and a bit of foothill wind that did elevate the fire danger along the Front Range on Sunday. The first little wave is going to track in from the northwest and shift to the east, dropping some snow in the mountains, which is great considering this dominant ridge of high pressure and most of the incoming storms and moisture have tracked north of us. The most impactful weather today will be in the Pacific Northwest, down to the Bay Area, through the Great Lakes and back into the northeastern U.S. But we are monitoring the potential for some snow today, and even with winter weather and travel advisories out for the northern mountains, the central and southern mountains could see a few inches of snow as well. So wonderful, a short-lived, fast-moving system. A winter weather advisory is going out from 5 a.m. today through 5 a.m. Tuesday for anywhere from about of snow with up to a foot over some of the higher passes. But the wind is also a feature, and so due to that, in areas of blowing snow, this is an area that will be most impacted by this shortwave and the snow today. In Denver, we start in the 40s, warm to the lower 60s, so not quite as warm as Sunday. 62 today, sunshine in 50s Tuesday and Wednesday. Thursday will be colder with a chance for rain and or snow showers. Clearing and chilly Friday. Next weekend, sunshine, a cool weekend with highs in the mid-40s both Saturday and Sunday.
Well, I'm Weather Impact Team Meteorologist Jada Knowles here in Denver, Colorado, and it hasn't been feeling like Denver. Yesterday, we saw another day with temperatures in the 60s. We are expecting that once again for this afternoon. But let's just take a look at this amazing statistic, unusual statistic, I should say. This is the most 60-degree temperatures that we've seen during the wintertime. 1981 holds that number one spot with 34 days that they saw during that year. So far, we're sitting at 22, and we will see 23 once we head into this afternoon. Now, I definitely want to tell you just how warm it's been here. We've been seeing warmer temperatures, more 60-degree temperature days since the wintertime, more than Atlanta, Georgia, Las Vegas, Nevada, then also Birmingham, Alabama. Now, usually they double the amount of days they see with temperatures in the 60s, so that is just unusual to see how warm we've been. Overall, though, our average winter-to-date temperature, 42.9 degrees. That's the second highest behind 1933. 43.5 degrees was that temperature they saw during that year. But there is some signs of relief, at least for a couple of days. You can see that dip in the jet stream as we head into Thursday as well as Friday. We could see some cooler temperatures as well as maybe some precipitation, maybe some flurries here across the Front Range, but that's not going to stick around for long. You can see behind that, we are seeing that ridge of high pressure system continuing to build in. And as we have that building in, we are definitely going to see those warm temperatures once again as we head into the start of next week. So I'll leave you with this. Today's high, 62 degrees. Lots of sunshine early on. We'll start to see those clouds roll back in. But today will make 23 days so far that we've seen those temperatures in the 60s during the wintertime.
That is an incredible statistic there. Thank you, Jaden. In Arizona, visitors expected snow in Flagstaff with holiday travel and holiday vacations, but warmer temperatures there and ultimately rain changed their plans. Phoenix's Chase Golightly tells us how local shops and ski resorts are feeling the impact.
There's no snow. What's going on?
This isn't what people visiting Flagstaff wanted to see.
We definitely expect it to be snow.
Some coming up from Phoenix made it through the dense fog on I-17, but instead of getting snow covering the streets, they got rain.
That was the whole idea of taking this trip, was coming for snow.
Having kids, we really expect snow. So we were a little disappointed, but we still had fun.
Putting a damper on their trip and creating less foot traffic for businesses.
We have had less people into our shop, because of that reason.
With ski shops taking the biggest hit.
We had a nice rush at the beginning. Things warmed up again and really dipped off.
Smith with Peace Outfitters says around the holiday is their busiest time, with people buying everything they need.
Snow gloves, jackets, bibs, all the way down to just plastic sleds. So really that's in effect everywhere within the surrounding market.
But that's not the case now. And when it comes to ski rentals,
a lack of snow makes a really big difference in the number of overall rentals that we send out through the season.
And rented gear that comes back,
you got to spend a little bit of time filling that,
is damaged and takes time to repair.
When the snow gets thin and there's rocks just below the surface, the weight of you on top of that board pushing over that rock will definitely pull out some chunks of material.
The weather leading to Flagstaff Snow Park having to cancel snow tubing sessions for Saturday for Snow Bowl Angie Grubb says they've been making man-made snow around the clock.
We've got 7 out of 8 lifts open, and over 50% of our terrain is open.
But during Christmas, some visitors received this notice that their lift ticket had been canceled. Writing rain and warmer temperatures forced them to close all beginner terrain and cancel lessons, giving those visitors resort credit that they can use this season.
We wanted to make it as right as we possibly could with the guests and make sure that they still had a great Christmas.
Everyone here hoping Mother Nature will have a change of heart soon, bringing back the snow and those who come here for it.
I think things are looking up.
And Arizona is keeping things mild to start the new year. We'll now go to meteorologist Ginger Jeffries in Phoenix with how conditions are looking in the desert.
I'm meteorologist Ginger Jeffries. We'll look at your weather out west, where I think the best word to describe the upcoming week is unsettled. It's not going to be extreme, but we've kind of got some opportunities for some light rain and snow even today, but better chances by the middle part of the work week. And again, doesn't look like a washout at all. It just looks like we're going to see clouds converging. Yeah, I started noticing them yesterday. These altocumulus clouds, anytime you see that kind of a broken up sky, it indicates that we've got changing weather patterns, and what's coming in is a little on the moist and cool side. So Teresa and Buckeye helping me tell this weather story today. Let's take a look across Arizona. Temperature wise, okay, not too shabby, right? Mid 60s. That's a normal range for us this time of the year. And I'm calling for highs today in Phoenix of about 69 degrees, 65 in Tucson, a little bit of clouds peppering the sky in Lake Havasu, 68 degrees. Now, if we see any kind of rain, possibly some snow action, it should be above 7,000 feet. So higher elevations, yes, you've got an opportunity to pick up just some light snowfall today. There are no winter storm advisories. I mean, accumulations are going to be on the mild side, but there's more of that to come. Let's take a look. Futurecast showing you that, yeah, this morning we're starting to see the emergence of some light rain and snow. Again, just really along the northern tier, and it is scattered at best. However, this deepening trough off the coastline, as that starts to move our direction, we'll watch this develop under very cloudy conditions by midweek. And then here we go. This system's going to enter from the south-southwest. So that would mean southern portions of the state have a higher opportunity to pick up some measurable rainfall. And this is by Wednesday afternoon. As we get into the evening hours, obviously that jet stream is going to drop in. We'll get that cold air impact. And that's when we'll start to see the development of snow through the rim, higher elevations, Navajo Nation, and possibly some heavier rainfall totals as well. So over the next 3 days, the concentration, not so much the west side of the state, but we've got the northern tier and then the southeast region should be seeing the heaviest rainfall, with obviously the snow in the higher elevations. So what does that look like for Phoenix? Well, only about a 10% chance on Wednesday, but overnight into Thursday, that's when we really start to see our opportunities go up. And again, just about a 30% chance. So don't cancel any of your plans. As far as the rainfall totals, they look on the meager side as well. Well, under a third of an inch. I think if we pick up any rainfall, it's going to be closer to about a quarter of an inch. So be ready for off and on clouds as we get into the work week. Daytime highs are going to stay in the upper 60s, and I think you'll really feel this overnight under partly cloudy skies as we drop down to about 52 degrees. Again, opportunities today for some snow. As that moisture moves through, we'll get a little bit of a wind impact, upwards of 25 miles an hour in the higher elevations. But here in the valley, our winds should be staying under 10 miles an hour. Now, temperature-wise, you can definitely see and feel the impact of the midweek action. I mean, look at this, from the mid to upper 40s down into the 30s, and we're going to hang out in the 30s and the Flagstaff through the weekend. Temperatures here in the Valley of the Sun, not so sunny, but yeah, chance at some showers Wednesday into Thursday, leveling off into the 60s and warmer by Sunday.
Thanks, Ginger. We are going to take a quick break, then come back to the Northwest with how winter weather is shaping up in Idaho and Western Washington for the first full week of 2026. We'll have those forecasts when we come back. Welcome back. We told you about that cold Pacific storm heading toward the Northwest. That is expected to hit Idaho as well. Hector Mendoza is in Boise with snow chances there.
Well, we had some wintry weather coming in this past weekend, and these are the 24-hour totals out in some of the ski resorts. We got about 6 inches in Bogus Basin, 9 reported out in Brundage, about 15 just over about a foot of snow there in Tamarack, 7 for those Sun Valley and Pomerelle. And we saw early on this morning that we saw a little bit more of that start to stack up, but we've seen a brief break, and we're going to see that continuing to pick itself back up as we get towards tonight and in through Tuesday and Wednesday. So we're going to continue with some of the damp and gray conditions through Wednesday. Snow is definitely going to start to accumulate here as we get into the next couple of days. But after that, as we head towards the weekend, clear and cool conditions will prevail as we're going to see drier, more sunshine there through Saturday and Sunday. But this is going to be the system that will bring in some of those showers, a lot more of those heavier, intense showers there through places in California. And then as it moves its way on inland, that's when it's going to start to diminish. And we're only going to see some isolated and some scattered showers through the Treasure Valley. A little bit more of the northern zones are going to start to see a little bit more of that snow, and then we're going to see those snow levels continuing to drop with the next system as we do have a cold front, so much colder air is headed our way. So as we move this future cast and put it into motion, that system that we're seeing is going to continue to dip down, and then the next system is going to make its way on through as we head closer in through Tuesday afternoon. That's when we're going to see the return of some of that precipitation is going to pick up, and then we'll see that cold front roll through as we head late in through Tuesday and early in through Wednesday. And there is a chance that a lot of these snow levels will begin to drop in through Wednesday, getting down to valley floors Wednesday night and through early Thursday morning. And that's our best chance to see any sort of snow make its way through into portions of the valley. Right now, a lot of the totals are remaining anywhere between 1/10 of an inch to almost a full inch there as we look at the Boise area. So we'll keep an eye on some of those conditions. That'll be our first significant amount of snow in portions of the valley. But after that, we're going to start to see much drier conditions as we do have a ridge of high pressure that's going to start to develop. And with a lot of that here through Tuesday night and through Wednesday, we have a winter weather advisory for places there through the west central mountains and down through areas in the Sawtooth and in the Sun Valley area, as we are going to see anywhere between 5 to 9 inches of snow. And there's a possibility that some of the wind gusts will start to pick up to 35 miles an hour, and that's going to cause blowing snow. And that is also going to make some of those driving conditions very difficult as you're heading up in portions of the mountains. And speaking of the mountains, these are going to be some of the conditions we'll see here through the next couple of days as we'll see those temperatures right at that freezing mark for our high temperatures. They're going to continue to cool off, and we'll see some of those teens there as we head into Thursday and Friday as temperatures start to drop. And then as we look at the Twin Falls area, we are going to see temperatures will continue mild into the 50s here through Tuesday. Then we're going to see a chance for rain snow mix here through Wednesday morning and headed into the afternoon. Winds will start to pick up as we stay windy for our Thursday. And then after that, we see lots of sunshine, and temperatures will cool off just a bit into the upper 30s and rise back up to some of the temperatures we're expecting to see here in the Treasure Valley. And now we look at the 7-day forecast for Boise as we stay mild all the way through Wednesday. So we're going to stay mostly with rain here through many of the valley spots. Then we'll drop in temperatures, and this is going to be our best chance. Some snow flurries are possible here through Thursday morning. Temperatures in the morning will be into the upper to mid 20s here through Saturday and Sunday. And that's when we're going to start to see some of the drier conditions and a lot more sunshine as we head towards the weekend. And then we'll stick around to those low 40s all the way to the end of the week.
Western Washington will also get hit by that same winter weather, getting it first, actually. Meteorologist Rich Marriott is in Seattle with lowering snow levels and significant mountain snow expected in Washington.
Hi, I'm King 5 meteorologist Rich Marriott, and well, welcome back to the regular world after all the holidays. Everybody getting back in gear for work and school, and well, at least it's been fairly kind to us this morning. We've had some showers around, mostly in some convergence zones. If you were outside of that, actually had a pretty dry morning through much of the area. If not all that sunny, but most places should see a little bit of sunshine before the day is over. We still at mid-morning still have a pretty good convergence zone going on, a little farther south than usual. It's pretty much South Seattle down towards Federal Way. We've seen it extend occasionally down all the way down to Tacoma, and then we're getting some pretty good snowfall up in the mountains as well, mainly around Stevens Pass area, a couple inches anyway, and we are going to be looking for that to gradually continue to weaken and go away by later this morning. Should get a break this afternoon and maybe a little bit of sun peeking through before we get some pretty good stormy weather as we head towards the middle of the week, with quite a bit of snow headed towards the mountains, which we can definitely use right now. Looking out this morning, you see there in Bellingham Bellingham, starting to see things brighten in the horizon. That's an encouraging sight at this point. And see there in Everett this morning, we've got, well, still looking pretty cloudy, even though they're not seeing much in the way of showers starting off the day. And there in King, rooftop camera, looking pretty wet. Down there on First Avenue has been pretty much soaked all morning long, and that should again improve as we head towards later in the morning. And out of the airport, this actually doesn't look quite as wet as it did just a short time ago, so the trend is in the right direction. And there in Tacoma, it looks like most of the raindrops have evaporated off the camera lens, and hint of some sun out there in the distance, so that's encouraging. We have been seeing sun out along the coast there at Westport for quite a few hours, at least since sunrise this morning, so that's kind of nice to see and promising in terms of seeing some here over the interior. We do have a winter storm warning out from the National Weather Service from 4 a.m. tomorrow morning until 4 p.m. on Thursday. This is going to be a pretty good storm system with a lot of snow up in the mountains. In fact, during that time period, we could see anywhere from about 1 to 3 feet of accumulation, which, as I said, we definitely need. And we also have from the Weather Service a winter weather advisory, and that's just for the Olympics. And that's going to be from 4 a.m. tomorrow morning until only 7 p.m. tomorrow night. We're expecting a lot more orographic snowfall in the Cascades, partly because of our tendency to form those convergence zones over the interior. Checking our extended forecast, see we get a little bit of a break later today, and then basically it's going to be rainy and kind of blustery during the day tomorrow. We'll see wind gusts down here into the 25 to 35 mile per hour range generally, and maybe even a little bit more than that. Still pretty blustery on Wednesday with another round of rain, and both days we're going to see occasionally heavy mountain snow. Probably the snowiest period though is going to be from 4 a.m. Tuesday until 4 a.m. Wednesday. I'll show you the details on that in just a couple minutes. By the time we hit Thursday, we'll start to see things quiet down a little bit. Still some showers in the lowlands and some snow falling up in the mountains, but not nearly as much. And then we dry out as we head towards Friday. Right now, looks like over the weekend we're going to see things dry out and maybe push those temperatures back up towards 50 degrees. Take a look at the satellite image. You see a little bit of high pressure off the coast. That's going to be pushing through during the afternoon and evening today. It's giving us that chance of seeing a little bit of clearing. And then you can see that system out there. That's going to be pushing into us as we head towards early tomorrow morning, spreading the rain back into the lowlands and eventually spreading into the Cascades for a pretty good round of snow. In fact, it's going to be some heavy snow, so expect traveling across the Cascade passes to be challenging, especially late morning into the afternoon tomorrow. Looking at the Futurecast, you can see things kind of dry out this afternoon. Might be a stray shower out towards the Cascades, but that's about all you're going to be dealing with. But then as we head towards tomorrow morning, of course, just in time for the commute, some heavier rainfall starts to push in and then on into the Cascades, giving us that heavy snow during the day and into the afternoon hours. As we head towards Wednesday morning, we're going to see things let up just a little bit, and then it does look like another system is going to push in here, though not as strong, but give us another round of snow as we head towards later in the morning through the afternoon on Wednesday before we start that trend downward as we head towards Thursday. So checking the snow levels, this is the really good news because we've had a lot of precipitation this winter, but we haven't seen much of it with low snow levels. Running right at the highway pass levels for today and for tomorrow. As that system moves in tomorrow, we are going to see those snow levels drop down to about 1,500 feet. In fact, probably starting off at around 1,000 feet on Wednesday morning and then warming up to maybe about 2,000 feet later in the day. Still around 2,000 on Thursday. So that means snow for the mountain passes and for all of the ski area bases. So we're actually going to build that snowpack up this time. We'll start to see them rise towards the weekend, but we're going to pretty much see the precipitation stop at that point. So it really shouldn't affect the snowpack all that much. That's a little bit of good news. Take a look at the forecast for today for there at Snoqualmie Pass. See a few snow showers this morning, and then we get a little bit of a break, and then overnight not looking for too much. So that'll be mostly moving in tomorrow. If we look at the forecast snow from 5 a.m. today until 5 a.m. tomorrow morning, you see we get a little bit of snow here this morning, and then stays pretty dry all the way into tomorrow morning. But if we take a look at the forecast as we head into Tuesday, you can see we're looking for that snow pretty much through the day. In terms of snowfall from 5 a.m. Tuesday morning until 5 a.m. Wednesday morning, see, we pick up anywhere from about 10 to 20 inches at most of the areas. So it's pretty good quantities. And then as we head towards Thursday, we're going to be looking for Wednesday rather, we're not going to be looking for as much snow between Wednesday morning and Thursday morning, but still picking up anywhere from about 5 to 10, 6 to 12 inches, which is significant. And then we push that on a little bit farther into what we're going to expect into the weekend. Things do dry out, and we should have pretty good snowfall for some weekend skiing headed headed our way. Checking temperatures today, they're going to be running pretty close to normal, running mostly in the mid-40s. And again, we'll see a few sun breaks this afternoon once we wrap up the convergence zone this morning. Rainy and blustery Tuesday. Heavy mountain snow, especially in the late morning out through the afternoon hours. We'll be looking for a little bit of a pause late Tuesday night, early Wednesday before that picks back up again. And also the snow picks up in the mountains, though not quite as heavy as the day before. And then we'll just off and on showers with some mountain snow showers on Thursday. Decreasing showers Friday, and then the weekend looks pretty good with partly sunny skies and those temperatures a little above normal, pushing up towards 50 degrees.
Thanks, Rich. It is polar plunge season, but can you polar plunge if winter has been warm so far? After the break, one community could not accomplish their polar plunge goals. We'll show you what they're planning to do to make up for it. Finally, today, the warm temperatures in Colorado have forced organizers of the Evergreen Lake Plunge to push back this year's event. It's typically held on New Year's, but the event will now be held on Saturday, March 1st at 10 a.m. The city says it was postponed because there wasn't enough ice on Evergreen Lake. In a normal year, firefighters cut a hole in the ice and stand ready to help as hundreds of people jump into the cold water. Meanwhile, in Washington, check out this polar plunge. People in Birch Bay tried making it one for the record books. Thousands braved the cold water in northern Washington, right along the Canadian border, hoping to break the Guinness World Record for largest polar dip. The current one was set in Norway with just over 3,000 people. One person says they estimate nearly 5,000 people this weekend. They are waiting on the official word from Guinness. But of course, that area, temperatures are in the mid-40s, so it's not quite freezing there. Well, that does it for us here on Weather Out West. I'm meteorologist Leah Pizzetti. Thank you so much for being with us on this Monday, January 5th. Hope you have a great day. Return back to reality. We'll see you right back here tomorrow. Have a good day.